The federal government is strongly urging employers to give transgender employees access to bathrooms that correspond to their gender identity, marking a new policy front in the fast-moving campaign for transgender equality. It is essential for employees to be able to work in a manner consistent with how they live the rest of their daily lives based on their gender identity, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration wrote in a 4-page guide to restroom access for transgender workers posted last week on the agency's website. The guide is explicit that restroom access for transgender workers is both a civil rights issue and a health and safety one, restricting employees to using only restrooms that are not consistent with their gender identity or segregating them from other workers by requiring them to use gender-neutral or other specific restrooms singles those employees out and may make them fear for their physical safety. OSHA, an arm of the Labor Department, wrote, calling its guidance best practices for employers throughout the country. In some workplaces, questions can arise about which facilities certain employees can use, OSHA said, then explained that someone's internal gender identity may be different from the sex they were assigned at birth. A person who identifies as a man should be permitted to use men's bathrooms, and a person who identifies as a woman should be permitted to use women's restrooms. The federal government has ensured this access for transgender workers since 2011, but advising businesses to do the same could generate tension with the business community as a wave of legislation and litigation is making transgender workplace issues a hotly contested legal and cultural issue. As the transgender movement has become more visible, controversies have roiled school systems and offices over privacy and the appropriate way to handle restroom preferences for those who are shifting genders. Many private sector companies now have written policies, OSHA noted, the core belief of which is that all employees should be permitted to use the facilities that correspond with their gender identity. Among the many forms of discrimination advocates for transgender men and women say they face on the job, bathroom restrictions have been among the most emotionally painful.